What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Masters of the Underground. As always, I am your host and friendly neighborhood psychopath, the Illusionist. Today, I am joined by the one and only A Kidd.
What's up, everybody?
If you should know who A Kidd is by now because we interviewed Orieo was like the first episode of the year, and your song "Separate Ways" was the introduction into the episode. So I'm pretty sure
Dang, love it.
they should know you. And then he was like, "Do you want to interview other people from my label?" Or I was like, "Sure, dude. Just hit me up whenever somebody wants on." Here we are. So
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm all about it, man.
had to reschedule once, but I know you're getting ready to go on tour, and I believe you just got off another tour
Correct.
recently, right? You were touring with Plush. Is that
Yep,
right? The
I'm
rock
going
band
back.
Plush.
Yeah, I'm a Plush's stage manager and drum tech, and
Nice.
I'm going back out with them for a couple weeks. Come home for a couple weeks, go back out with them for a couple weeks, come home for a couple weeks, and then my band Scream at the Sky. I'm actually going to Brazil with them in October.
Nice, Brazil. That sounds like a crazy trip.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm excited. I've never been, I've been overseas, but I've never been like South America and shit. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I've never been overseas. I've only ever been in the US. So I always said if I was going to go overseas one day, I'd probably want to go to Japan. And that's,
Japan would be dope, dude.
yeah, Japan, maybe the UK, but most likely Japan would definitely be I'm a huge like Japanese horror, anime, like all that kind of stuff that I love
Oh,
comes from Japan. So
so then like Studio Ghibli and all that, yeah?
yeah, hell
Oh
yeah. I
yeah.
think who was that? I was talking to somebody about that recently. I think it was Bake Low. We were talking about Spirited Away.
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Princess Mononoke fan.
Nice. Yeah, Spirited Away
Actually,
was my first.
I have Fawn's mask tattooed on my chest.
Oh shit, yeah, that's sick. That's sick. I don't think I've seen everything, but I know Spirited Away was like one of the first like animated films I saw, and like to this day, it's such a weird film in so many amazing ways, though.
Yeah, Spirited Away, Howl's Moving Castle, and Princess Mononoke are like my top three.
Yeah, and I know they have a couple more. What's that? Is it my neighbor? Is it my neighbor Totoro or something? Is that them or is
Totoro,
that somebody
yeah.
else? Okay, so that
Yeah.
was them. I can't remember everything off the top of my head, but I remember some shit.
Yeah. Well, and I watched one not too long ago. It just came out. It was The Boy and the Heron, and that was fucking weird, man. It was cool, but it
Nice.
was fuck.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what they have a tendency to do is go the completely weird direction. That's probably
Yeah.
why I cater to it. That's probably why I
Right?
lean towards it because I like comic books and like weird shit and horror. And Spirited Away was definitely the horror approach with those
Oh yeah,
creepy
for
ass
sure.
spirit masks. Every once in a while, I'll see something more modern. And they still have that mask, and I'm like, that goes back to Spirited Away every time I see it.
Yep.
I'm like, I know where you got that influence from. You can't fucking trick me. That shit is Spirited Away. You know, I'm not gonna have it any other way. So, how you been doing today, homie?
Pretty good. I mean, I had some troubles with my fridge earlier, so I
Oh
pulled that
man,
out, cleaned it up, did all that shit, and hopefully it's working now. But I mean, other than that, doing pretty good. I just finished up. I'm actually waiting for Oreo to get back to me. He's actually my fucking neighbor. He lives right across the street from me.
that's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, it works out really well. But I was finishing up a song that we're doing together called "Cup of Poison," which he'll be releasing in September. But I'm waiting for him to give me the final okay because I do all the mixing, mastering, producing, all
Right.
that stuff.
I imagine that. How did you get into doing that? Like, you're not just a rapper; you're doing the mixing, the mastering, like that kind of shit. I feel like is so complicated as opposed to like just writing a verse and rapping. Like, I feel
I
like the
mean,
mixing and mastering that makes it more difficult.
I mean, it is. I mean, and really, I've learned over time because I mean, I just started doing that not too long ago, but
Right.
I've learned that basically you just like for me, it's finding a sound that you like. Because I mean, I don't know if you know who. I think it's Rick Rubin, the dude who
Yep.
like produced Slipknot, all those dudes. He doesn't know fuck about fuck, but he has produced many,
That's
huge
crazy.
albums. So I mean, and he's even said it in interviews, like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I just know what I want it to sound like.
Yeah.
And that's ultimately what it is. I mean, there's frequencies involved that, it's like, okay, well, this is obviously cutting through too much. So you got to work with frequencies. But I mean, really, I just started doing it so that way I didn't have to pay somebody to do it. And it's
I
worked
feel
out
that.
so far.
Yeah, and that's what I find with a lot of artists that like start making their own beats and stuff too, is because they don't feel like paying other people to do it, so they just kind of get into doing it themselves. I'm
Yep.
like, I feel that, man.
Yep, that was me. I'm like, well, fuck that. I'll just make my own beat. And then that way I can't be fucking sued for copyright. Fuck you.
Yeah, and it's like hard enough to make it already without paying for all that shit. Because some beats are like $200 for like a one beat and shit. Like
Right.
I used to do YouTube videos. Well, I still do YouTube videos and streams and shit, but I used to do YouTube videos. One of my first videos was one called Slender the Arrival, and I used like one of those free music things,
Yeah.
and that shit's like hit with copyright. Even though I used it from a free site, whatever the song or
Right.
whatever the instrument, it was just an instrumental because I did it like a black and white Charlie Chaplin film. But just that
Yeah.
little instrumental was like copyright claimed on that shit. And
Yeah.
I
It's
was like, that's
stupid.
crazy. Yeah,
But yeah.
it's like you pay for it, but your license only lasts a certain amount of time or whatever, and then it'll just go away, and then
Right.
that shit goes away, which sucks, dude. It's the same thing with gaming. You got to pay attention to what kind of shit you're streaming with music wise, because if a game
Right.
is playing copyright music and you're streaming it, you'll get hit with that shit real quick. Especially with YouTube. YouTube is like the
Oh
biggest.
yeah. YouTube's the worst at it.
Yeah, which speaking of, that probably hopefully we didn't cuss within the first minute because they've been age restricting all my shit on YouTube.
Hopefully. I don't think we did.
Yeah, I don't think we did
I
either,
cussed a
but
lot.
like the first couple episodes, it was like immediately, like with Oreo, it was like within 10 seconds, I was like, welcome back to Master of the fucking Underground. It was like 10 seconds in. And then I was like bitching about age restricting all my shit. And they're like, well, did you cuss within the first minute? And I was like, yeah, I probably fucking did.
Yeah, probably.
I was like,
cussed
yeah,
like
that's probably why. The only problem I
yeah,
have with that is that it's like they age restrict it. I already have it marked as not safe for kids. So I feel
right.
like they shouldn't age restrict it on top of that shit, because when they age restrict it, you have to not only provide like your ID or whatever, you have to like provide an ID to prove that you're 18 or over and sign in order to watch the videos. So it really kind of fucks us in a way because it's stopping a lot of people from being able to watch the shit.
Right.
So it's like Spotify doesn't do that. So our audio only version is fine. But it's like I just started doing video. I want my fucking video versions to take off just as good as the damn audio ones.
Right, right.
Like in the past, I never did video. I only did audio, and now I was so excited to do video. And YouTube's like, "Fuck you, you cuss too much." So up to this point, I've only heard two songs from you. It was "Separate Ways" and I'm gonna fuck up the number. Was it
2805.
20? I almost said 8205.
Yeah,
I was like, I'm gonna
2805.
fuck the number up. Those are the two I heard. And you just said you're working on a new one.
Yeah, well, actually, I have there's the new one, Cup of Poison, but me and Oreo are releasing one in about 5 days called Wrath.
Nice. Yeah, I've been
So
seeing that. I've been seeing him because he's been posting about that on Facebook and shit. And
yeah,
I'll tell you
yeah,
what, every time I hear one of your song titles that you two do together, I'm already like immediately like, okay, the song title's got me. Like
well,
Wrath already sounds epic as shit. And so does Cup of Poison. I was like, these are very good song titles.
well, and that's the thing is like, I mean, a lot of the times, like I'll write a beat, and what I end up doing is I end up naming the beat. Not all the time, but like probably about 80% of the time, I'll name the beat necessarily based on like what I like. The first thing I think of, like Cup of Poison, it was just like, I mean, fuck, I have a whole list of song titles that
Nice.
I mean, I've just been like shooting out. I mean, here, let me find a couple while we're doing this. I have them all saved in my notes. We have, let's see, shit, hold on, real quick.
I used to do that shit back in the day because at one point I wanted to rap, so I would just write down song titles and shit. And I only ever actually did 3 songs. Then I just kind of realized it wasn't really my thing to do the rap. This is more my thing. Doing interviews and shit and talking to people was more my lane. But I would that's what I would do. I just write down song titles and shit all the
So,
time.
I mean, this is just like song titles I have. It's not necessarily any order, but there's Couldn't Be Any Worse, Slit Wrist Salvation, A Ghost Only to Me, Monday Didn't Come for 4 months, She's Not There, which actually we have done. We're just waiting to release it. The Blue Hour, When the Last Leaf Falls, 2805, Cup of Poison, Storyboard My Life, What Should Have Been, What Became, Separate Ways, You Want Misery, I'll Give You Misery, Story Written on Skin, The Sunset Is Beautiful, Isn't It? Dancing on Knives, Trauma Response, and Shattered Teacup.
Nice. The what could have been and then the what happened or whatever, those sound like they would just go together, like one after another. I was like, that sounds perfect. I love shit like that.
Yeah, and that's actually what I'm gonna do whenever I do decide to do those two. It's gonna be what should have been, and then the very next song I'll probably release like very shortly after, and it's what became.
And then
So
I'll show you Misery could fit into that shit too if they have to save something.
Yeah.
Like like the 3 of those just sounded like they would all go right together on like an album or something.
Yeah, and that was kind of the idea. Is I mean, I I've been writing for years and years, and it's not just with rap, but like just in a general sense, I'm a good writer and I love writing.
Right.
But it was like I'll come across something and it's like, what, that sounds cool, or and I just Well, fuck, what was it? Just the other day, I was talking to my fiance, and actually, I think I put it in my notes. It was funny as fuck. But oh yeah, we I don't know how we came up or how I came up with it, but it was like precursor to Vomit.
Oh, geez, what the fuck? That
Yeah,
sounds
and it
like
was
some
like,
fucking Jackass movie shit. Which I
yeah, it
literally
was like,
just watched Jackass Forever like before the show with my wife, so that's immediately where I went. I have to look away every time it's vomit. I'm like, I can't deal with this. Vomit is too much for me.
but yeah, it's like some weird shit like that. Like that was one of the weirder ones, obviously, but like a lot of them are just song titles that like Shattered Teacup. If
That sounds
anybody's ever
cool.
watched, yeah, like if anybody's ever watched like the old or not the old, but the Hannibal series, the 2013 one with Mads Mikkelsen, that's actually where that came from because he talks about a teacup shattering.
Interesting. Yeah, see, for me, I go like wrestling for some reason. And I used to watch a lot of wrestling back in the day, and Goldust used to have that move where he would kick people in the nuts. It was called Shattered Dreams. So
Yeah.
like Shattered Teacup, Shattered Dreams, like that's where my mind went. It was like that. It was like very similar to that. That'd be a cool ass fucking song too, to be honest. Shattered Dreams, like that's actually a cool title when I think about it.
Right.
It might have been a finishing move, but that could make a badass song. And
Right.
then the other one you said, what was it? The ghost one you mentioned when you're
Oh, a
reading
ghost
your
only
title.
to me.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Ghost only me. I really like the sound of that one too. You named off quite a
Well,
few, but I'm trying to pick off the ones I heard that immediately
yeah,
caught my
stood out.
attention.
Well, and I mean that's another one that I haven't really written yet, but when I get around to it, I mean I know when I ended up doing that, it was like I was going through fucking like Facebook or Instagram,
Yep.
and it was like I saw some shit about like heartbreak or whatever, and it's like yeah, when you break up with somebody, they're a ghost only to you.
Yep. Yeah,
So
that's gonna be a good one for sure. I mean,
so yeah,
everything y'all have been putting out has been bangers, like one after another. So I'm like excited for everything. I'm
well I
pretty hyped
appreciate
for it.
that. Because yeah, I mean we definitely and that's the thing with him when I first when he actually first moved across the street, I actually had 2805 written out musically. I had my verse and the hook already laid out, and I never really wanted to release it. I mean, it's not that I didn't want to release it, I just didn't have a second verse to it, and I just sat on it for years and years and years. And
Right.
finally he came around and he put down the verse, and he actually has helped me a lot with coming out and being able to become a better not necessarily lyricist because I'm a good lyricist, but more so
Right.
like melodies and helping me with my my flows and stuff. So
Yeah. Did you guys know, like, whenever he moved in, did you originally know that both of you were artists, or did you just like randomly start talking one day and you're like, oh shit, we're both artists, and start working together that way?
it was actually a random pure chance because I played in bands my whole life, and with that we I went I think I was doing I can't remember what tour I was doing, but I was doing a tour, and then not that long after I was doing the Disturbed Falling in Reverse tour.
Oh, nice.
And so yeah, I was a drum tech on that for Plush. Plush is on that tour, and like from there he was dude, you do all this? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, I'm a rapper. I'm like, well, I have some rap songs that I've been wanting to get out. I just don't know what the fuck to do with
Nice.
them. It kind of really became cohesive with that, and me and him kind of have different skill sets when it comes to that. I mean, obviously, I write all the beats, produce, mix,
Right.
master. And he was actually when I first heard him rap because he showed me some songs. I was like, dude, you're fucking badass.
Yeah, he
So
really is. He needs to be
yeah,
more well known. Both of you do. Well, all of you do. Fuck. There's what, four of you, at least four of you now that I've met.
yeah.
There's Introcution, who haven't obviously I haven't got on yet, but those songs are good. And then your song with him is good. And then I met through TikTok. I'm gonna fuck up the name because the way he spells it trips me out. It's like Trap Star B or some shit like that, but it's spelled with like X's in the name. I had
Oh
to
shit.
Yeah, I had to double check with Oreo because he messaged me on TikTok and was like, "Yeah, I'm one of Oreo's homies." And I was like, "You know this guy?" And at first he was like, "No," because I said whatever his other name was on TikTok, and I was like, "I think this is
Yeah.
the name." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I know him." So I'm working on something
Well,
with him too for an interview. But I was like, I like to double check to make sure that people are who they say they are. I do my research.
right. Well, it's funny too because Introcution actually used to be our other neighbor. He lived right next door to me.
That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
Y'all
So
live
it
in
like
a
worked
kick
out
ass
where
neighborhood,
all of us were.
apparently.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally a triangle. Like I was here, he was Oreo's across the street, and Introcution was literally my next door neighbor to my left.
That's insane. Yeah, my co-host, well, he's obviously not on tonight, but he's on like random episodes whenever he's because he's 2 hours behind me, just like you are. But
Yeah.
we just did a fucking 5 hour live stream earlier today. So I think he's probably about, I didn't even ask him to get on this episode after that shit. That's probably the longest stream we've ever done on Twitch. It's 5 hours of trying to play Battlefield 6 and just getting absolutely wrecked by everybody. That shit was crazy. And I drank a cup of coffee, so I was like, I know I'm good. But yeah, so his a lot of times people interviews set up interviews in the morning time. So I'm kind of glad when I could find a time that he can actually come out, which is usually either 11:30 or like in the afternoon. If it's nighttime or
Right.
too early in the morning, he's usually not available. But yeah, he used to live here. That's how we met. Like we worked at the same place, and one time I think I was wearing an ICP shirt and he was wearing a Twisted shirt. And we were just
Oh
like,
shit.
yo, what's up? And they was like, hey, this Twisted concert's coming up. You want to fucking carpool with me and go to the concert? And I was like, sure. And that was like my
You know,
first like live performance I went to. So
it's
it
funny.
was like fucking crazy. You just meet somebody, hang out with them, become friends with life.
Well, it's funny you mentioned both of them because Twisted, I have two buddies who are in Twisted. The
Nice.
drummer and the guitar player are my buddies from Twisted. And when it comes to ICP, last year my band actually played the Gathering of the Juggalos.
Nice. What's your so you're not yeah, I knew about the artist part, but you did say you were in a band too. So I wanted to ask about that actually. Now I get the
Yeah,
opportunity.
yeah. No, I've been playing bass since I was 12 years old. I'm 30 now, so I've been playing for 18 years, and I've played in quite a few bands. But my band Scream at the Sky, I
Okay,
joined.
like the name. I didn't mean to
Yeah.
cut in, but I really like the name, and I felt like
Oh,
I have ADHD sometimes, so sometimes I will
you're
just
good, brother.
talk, and then my wife will be like, "You need to stop talking to people." She'll catch that shit, and then I'll feel like an asshole later.
No, you're good. So yeah, no, Scream at the Sky though. They were actually based out of Texas. My singer and my drummer had lived there, and so I'd fly out there for everything because I live in Colorado. And when I met my singer from Scream at the Sky, it was right before COVID happened because the band started during COVID, and we were on the Puddle of Mud, Trapped, Saliva, Saving Abel, Tantric tour, and I was working for Tantric and Puddle of Mud, and he was working for Trapped. And at the time, it was kind of that weird thing with Trapped going on where nobody really wanted to associate with Trapped, and he joined
Right.
at the wrong time, being their guitar tech. And so I was like, no, you're kind of in the shit camp. We didn't talk to him, and me and the guitar tech from Saliva, we ran out of weed one day, and so we were like, well, fuck, we need to find weed. And here comes Brian, my singer. He wasn't my singer at the time, but he worked for Trapped, and he comes strolling in with this big old blunt. We're like, this motherfucker still has weed, so we got to make friends with him.
Yeah.
And the end of the tour comes, and he's like, I'm starting this band up called Scream at the Sky. And, I'll send you some tracks, whatever. And COVID happened. So,
Yeah, that was fucking.
yeah, a couple
fuckery.
years went by. Yeah. A couple years ended up going by. And, the band was actually going. And I was friends with Brian on Facebook. I saw, he was doing good. And my other band at the time called 7 Days Lost here in Colorado, my best friend is the drummer. He went out and teched for the Birthday Massacre, which is a Canadian band. And Brian just so happened to be on the tour driving for that. And he was talking to my best friend saying he was looking for a bass player. He's like, well, why don't you hit up Bundy, which is my name. And so he's like, oh yeah, I forgot all about him. So he hits me up. Next thing you know, I think a month and a half later, I fly out there, and here we are 3 years later. I'm still in the band.
That's crazy. You were a busy dude.
Oh, very, very
I was just
busy.
thinking, like, between the rap and then doing the rock band shit on the side and then being drum tech for Clutch, like, you were all over the fucking place. I respect
Oh yeah,
it.
dude. And earlier this year, do you know the band 6 Feet Under?
Sounds familiar, but I've never listened to them. Just the name sounds familiar.
It's a death metal band, but do you know Cannibal Corpse?
No.
No.
I don't listen to
Cannibal
I listen to metal, but I don't really listen to death metal, so that's probably why. Like, my
I was
metal
just
is more like Iron Maiden, like that kind of shit from the 80s, like power metal shit. That's my vibe when it comes to metal.
So Cannibal Corpse is it's a very prominent name in the death metal world. They're one of like the godfathers of death metal. They started like back in the 80s. And they've been around forever. But the original singer of Cannibal Corpse is the singer of 6 Feet Under. And so earlier this year, my buddy, who is the bass player of Soil, he hit me up. He's like, hey, I have this death metal band. It's Embryonic Autopsy, which I knew of. And he had this bass player who couldn't go out for the tour. And so they hired this other person to be a bass player, and they just were not gelling with this person.
Right.
For whatever reason, I still don't know fully, but they just were not gelling with them. So 4 shows in, he calls me. He's like, "Hey, I need a bass player. Can you come out?" I was like, "Yeah. When do I need to go?" "Tomorrow." "Okay."
Oh,
So
damn.
packed
Real
my
short
shit.
notice.
Yeah, packed my shit and flew to North Carolina or North or South Carolina the next morning. And it was like a 2-month tour, which, it was a good tour. I think I was averaging like 700 to 1,200 people a night.
Nice. That's
So I
fucking
played bass
crazy.
on that tour. So I'm a very freelance kind of guy. I like you said, I do the rap, I do rock, anything that keeps me in music, I'm all for. Whether it's teching, playing, rapping, I don't care. I'm a very musical oriented guy.
That's the kind of art, you're the exact kind of artist I like to have, to be honest. One that's like, because when I build Master of the Underground for this year, I said it's all about bringing it to the people with, first of all, real fucking talent, not the generic bullshit that's everywhere else.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. And the people who are like actually committed to honing your craft and working for this shit. And that's definitely you from what I've heard already.
Let me see if I can't find them. I don't know where they might be. They might be in here. I was gonna say I have all my fucking old tour passes somewhere if I could find them.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah, when
Uh,
you were talking about death metal, I think it's gonna be sound crazy, but the only death metal. Wow, I can't fucking talk. The only death metal band I know of was actually a Christian death metal band by the name of Mortification. They became
oh,
really
okay.
huge for a while too, and I was like, they were probably the only ones I ever listened to. I never really listened to any. Like I said, I was more power metal and shit like that. I didn't even start
Right.
listening to metal that screams until like maybe 5-6 years ago when Demon Hunter came out.
Oh,
Then
okay.
I
Yeah.
started then I started listening to more of that stuff. But then I was like all about it. But yeah, originally it was all like I couldn't stand the screaming stuff, and then over the years it just grew on me.
Yeah, I'll have to find them at some point again. But yeah, I mean, I have all my fucking old tour passes from like all the tours I've done. So I mean, it's just like this big old fucking brick of shit.
Yeah, that's awesome. But I imagine you're playing bass. That probably ties into your skills with rapping too, because a lot of that is like bass, drums. People that play drums usually are like really good at rap because it's the way they
Right.
hear the beats and shit.
Well, and that's one thing too is my buddy he's actually on the song that we're doing called She's Not There. And he always hits me up and asks me, he's like, "Hey, can you can you write the bass line to this? I'm having trouble with it." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that's like takes me 5 minutes."
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you've been doing it for how long did you say? 20 years?
Getting close,
20
yeah.
years, it
God, yeah.
probably feels like 20 years. Because you're 30, I'm 37. So I was trying to think of where 20 years would be at this point.
Yeah, I mean, 18 years this year. It's fucking crazy to think. I mean, I still feel like I'm a teenager, man.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to feel because I don't. So, I
Yeah,
feel
well,
for you.
I know a lot of that has to do with the music thing, just because I'm always going, I'm always doing
Yeah, you're
things.
staying active doing that too. So it probably keeps
Right.
you in decent shape.
And it's cool too, because I've made a lot of friends with people I never in a million years thought I'd have made friends with. That's what's really cool about it. Is
Yeah.
I mean, some people I've been listening. I mean, I remember like Soil as a band. I remember that back in the day, I was like 17 years old, and they were doing an interview on my local radio station about one of their new songs that was coming out. And
Nice.
all the years later, I ended up working for him, and I'm in a band. I ended up being in a band with the bass player. And it's like, dude, I remember listening to that interview in high school. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome though. That's the same
Yeah,
reason why. That's one of the other reasons why I like doing this show is because of the people you meet doing like these interviews and shit, like reaching out and meeting people and then becoming friends or whatever and keeping in touch and shit. It's always fucking fun.
right.
Because I don't in my hometown, I don't know a damn person except for like maybe two people. Like they're like coworkers. So
Right.
my shit is all like meeting artists and like that's like more my lane. So I feel that for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, in my town, like it's not that I don't know nobody. I mean, the way I describe the town I live in, it's a little big city town because there's about 100,000 people, and I could go somewhere and not know a damn person, but I
Right.
could ask them like, "Hey, do you know so and so?" And they'll know that person. It's weird.
Yeah, mine is a pretty small town, so most people probably know each other except for me because I'm actually originally not even from this state, so they probably wouldn't know me anyway. But yeah, so that's kind of a benefit too, honestly, being in a small town where people don't know you, like because I
Right.
wouldn't see that's where I wouldn't want to be an artist either because I wouldn't want people picking me out in the middle of the street or like if I'm trying to eat or something and wanting to talk to me and shit. I don't think I would vibe with that.
Right.
So I prefer to be on this end where, like, if I'm in the right environment, somebody might recognize me if I'm at a concert or some shit. But if I'm just walking around my hometown, nobody's going to be like, oh, that's the illusion. Like, that's not going to happen. So
Right.
that's kind of the
Well,
benefit.
and I know I have, definitely an easy time picking me out. I mean, I'm tattooed from fucking, my face
Yeah.
down. So,
Same with my co host. He's like tattooed all over too. So,
yeah, it's like, you'll know me. I mean, I actually I went to a family reunion yesterday, and, I mean, it's not that I don't know everybody, but, people, it's like, they're, oh, there he is. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm fucking very easy to see. It's not hard.
yeah. Yeah, it's like one of those situations where it's like someone's like, I'm looking for you. And it's like, I'm right here. I'm not hard to find. It's like one of
Yeah,
those.
it's not hard to find at all, man. There's two things about me. I'm very tattooed, and I'm always wearing Jaguar shit.
Yeah, I was going to say you're wearing Jack Rose hat right now. So that fits right.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I love my Jaguars, unfortunately.
I mean, it's better than my team. The fucking Buffalo Bills is what I was into ever since I was a kid. But that came from my dad. So, like in that era, it was fucking Jim Kelly's era, where it was like
Yeah.
Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, Bruce Smith. Like that was my era, the '90s Bills. They kept making it to the Super Bowl and just never quite went in the big one.
Yep, 4 in a row, dude. That's fucking devastating.
I know. It was like you made it every year for so long. You were right fucking there, and then you just dropped the ball every time.
Yeah, no, I mean, me as a Jags fan, that actually just came from a very young age. I mean, I was born the same year that the Jags were founded.
Oh, nice.
And it was around like 3-4 years old, when you're playing with your friends and, being from Colorado, everyone's like, well, I want to be the Broncos. It's like, all right, bitch, I'll pick my own team.
Yeah.
So I picked the Jags, and I mean, I've rocked the Jags ever since, the late 90s.
Yeah, that's how it was with the Bills. But like I said, it came through my dad because it was just Buffalo Bills. And I don't even have really a relationship with them anymore. But it was just the Buffalo Bills shit everywhere. Like he was big into the Bills, and then I think I got into the pro wrestling shit because of him too, because he was a Ric Flair dude.
This one I know I can find because I just bought it. It's in my closet. Where are you? Right here. So I got sick of buying. I mean, because I have a bunch of Jags jerseys, but I got sick of buying them. So I bought my own with my custom last name on
nice.
it. I'm done, man.
Yeah, nice.
At least I know no matter what, that will never go out of style.
No, and it's always going to have your name on it. So it's always going to be customized, which is sick. That's the same thing with, I think I made 2 back in the day of Master of the Underground's like original logo shirts. And I still have mine, and it says Illusionist on the back of it. And then Twisted Joker has one. But that shit fucking cost me like $50 for one shirt, which is why I didn't get a lot of them made. I just didn't have the money.
Fair enough.
And their thing was like they wanted you to bundle it, so it's like, oh, get like 30 shirts, but then that shit's like $300, and I just couldn't afford that. So I was like, I'll buy one for me, one for him, and then go from there if we need one. And then my wife recently, here, check this out. My wife recently got this made, and she got this made on Shein. It's a fucking teddy bear, and he's got the little old school Master of the Underground logo on the hoodie and shit.
That's dope.
Yeah, that thing is badass. And I've seen quite a few people that are like, I would buy that. And I was like, well, we'll look into it. We'll see if we can find a site that allows us to make little shit like that. Because the price went up on that one after she bought it by like another $10. I was like, oh, now they're increasing the price of this shit.
Right.
So it's like you got to find the right kind of place to make multiple and then sell that shit.
Well, I have a buddy in Idaho. I met him on tour, and he gets jerseys for super cheap, and they're not like the knockoff ones that you got. I mean, they have the NFL logo. They have, I mean, they're the real deal. And he sells them to me for $45.
That's nice.
If you want a custom one like the one I got, it's $65. It's $20 to add your own name and number. It's like, fuck, I'll add my own name and number.
Yeah, that's still cheap as shit, because most jerseys that you look at, you're looking at about $150 most of the time.
Oh, yeah. That's just for the cheap ones, too.
Yeah, except for the one cheap one I found that I actually bought from Walmart. I don't remember how much it was, but it's the one jersey I have in my collection. It's a Punisher jersey, which ties into my love for Marvel and shit. And I'm like, that's the only jersey I have currently, and it's a Punisher jersey. But the thing is badass, so I'm glad I found it when I did.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, I have a fucking whole collection. When I met that dude, I was on tour with my band, and my singer knew him. He's like, hey, this guy's gonna come out, we're gonna go have dinner with him, yada yada. So we're all sitting at the dinner table talking, and he asked all of us, what's your favorite team? And everyone's going around the table saying their own favorite teams. I'm like, Jaguars for me. He's like, I got a present for every one of you tomorrow. So next day he shows up to the show, he gives my guitar player at the time a Green Bay Packers jersey. I think it was Aaron Rodgers.
Nice.
My singer, a Texans jersey because they're Texans fans, and comes up to me. He's like, I thought I had something for you, but I don't. Give me your home address and I'll send you something. All right, gave it to him. Didn't think nothing of it.
Right.
2 weeks later, I'm home and he's like, hey, check your mail. So I go check my mail. There's a fucking Trevor Lawrence jersey in there.
Nice.
Yeah, I was so stoked.
That is the kind of thing where somebody like says it, and you don't think they'll really do it, and you're just kind of like, it's cool, don't worry about it. And then next thing you know, it just arrives.
Yeah, it's like, great if it does. If it doesn't, I ain't tripping. But yeah, he sent it to me, and
I love just getting shit in the mail that I don't know is coming.
Speaking of that, dude, there was one day I have a buddy who plays for Lynch Mob, which is Dawkins' old guitar player.
Right.
And he was Tantric's bass player when I was teching for them. We became really good friends. And one day, I think it was last year, I'm taking a nap, and my fiance wakes me up, and she's like, "Hey, backtrack a little bit." My buddy asked me, he's like, "Hey, do you have somewhere I can mail you something?" I'm like, "Yeah, my house.
Right.
I live in the house. You can mail it to my house." All right, cool. So like 2 weeks later, time comes, and my fiance is like, "Hey, I think Jaron sent you a bass." So I get up and then
that's crazy.
Wake up and like, there's this fucking huge ass case. And I'm like, what the fuck? And so I open it. A couple years prior, he was doing a show and I was there and he'd gotten a new bass. And I was like, oh, dude, if you ever, sell that thing, let me know. And, he was going through his closet and shit, trying to get rid of stuff. And he ended up just sending me it.
That's insane. That's a crazy thing to send in the mail too, a bass.
Yeah,
Your entire bass guitar, you're like, geez, that couldn't have been cheap to even send that shit.
I know.
That's awesome. Well, homie, we're actually at about that time now. Yeah, it says we have 7 minutes left. It also says we've gone 39 minutes, so I don't trust it one bit because it usually says 40 minutes in, it's going to cut off. So.
You want to restart then?
We can do that if you want, or we could end it here. It depends on what else you want to talk about.
Totally up to you, man. I mean, I could keep going. I could fucking go off on a bunch of shit. I mean, believe me,
that's kind of how the interview went. We just talked about a bunch of random shit, but I like that because sometimes I'll be floundering on an interview and I can't think of questions and shit. So I like it when someone comes on and can just talk because that's how I like it. Because otherwise, I'll sit here and like a lot of times because of my ADHD, a lot of times while you're talking, if I have questions because I don't write down anything, I don't write down questions and shit. So a lot of time while someone is talking, that's when I'm processing the next thing to talk about, or so I'm listening to what you have to say and also processing my next question at the same time. So sometimes I'll ask a question and someone will answer that shit in like 10 seconds or less, and my brain will not have enough time to process the next question. And then I'm like, oh fuck, now I'm floundering. So then I start panicking, and then it's like this awkward silence for like 5-10 seconds because I haven't had enough time to process the shit. And that's the kind of shit when you have ADHD or whatever that messes with your head later, because then you're like hard on yourself and you're like, man, I fucked up. And most people don't notice it, but it's just that perfectionist in me like notices immediately.
Right.
Doing that shit. But I think this is probably a good time. So I'll give you time to promote more of your shit, let people know where to find you. Especially since I just found out you're more than just an AA kid and you're in bands and shit too. So they got a lot of places they can find you now.
Oh, yeah. No, you can find me everywhere, man.
That's awesome. All right, homie. Go ahead and just let people know. And then we'll go ahead and end it here.
So what did you want me to let them know? Sorry, I kind of...
Like your social medias, where to find your music, all that shit. I'll put it in the description too, but I'll still let you say it.
Gotcha. So find me on Facebook, Instagram, AA Kidd. If you want to find any of my rock shit, Scream at the Sky. If you want to find me personally on Facebook or Instagram, Facebook, look up Jeremiah Bundy. You'll see a picture of me playing bass. If you want to find me on Instagram, my personal stuff, it's Welcome to Bunderland.
Nice.
So find me everywhere. Music's all over Spotify, both AA Kidd and Scream at the Sky. You'll find me Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora. I mean, if you have the music streaming service, I'm there.
It's there. Yep. That's the best.
It's there.
If it's there, you'll find it.
Yeah. There's been some obscure ones where people are like, well, I have this. I'm like, I'm on there. I promise I'm on there.
Yeah, because there's some weird ass, like you mentioned, like SoundCloud. Like I even forgot that shit even existed.
Yeah. There's another one called like Deezer or some shit that I've had a couple people say. I'm like, I'm on there too. Never used it, but I'm there.
You're probably on. I think there's one called Reverb Nation. You're probably on that.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
pretty sure that's a
everywhere, dude.
website called Reverb Nation where you can upload shit. And then
Yep.
like we used to be hosted by a platform called Spreaker, but that was like a podcasting thing. And this is what happened. Once it went away, I lost all my shit. Like once I
Oh,
wasn't paying for, so that's why like there's certain interviews. Like if you look back at the Master of the Underground, like the current form of it when I restarted this year, I have some of my archives. That's just the ones I still had access to for some reason that were like in Google Drive folders or whatever, and then some of them were lost to time. Like fucking Lexa Hexmaster is lost to time, and I'm still pissed about it. That I could
that's
because that was of course one of the ones I wanted to re-upload, and I'm like, nope, I can't find it anywhere. It's in none of my Google Drive files or anywhere, but like the Whitney Payton one was still there. So I was like, I have some. I have like a handful of ones, and then the other ones are just gone to time, and it sucks ass.
yeah. No, like I said, with me, you'll find me everywhere. Doesn't matter where you listen to music, you can find me. That's a promise. I obviously promote Spotify the most because I mean
Right.
that's just what I use. So but yeah, if you have Apple Music, Pandora, Deezer, fucking whatever weird streaming service that you may use, you'll find me there.
Nice. And if you're listening to Master Underground on Spotify, be sure to rate us 5 stars, leave comments, because you can leave comments and shit on episodes now, which is kind of cool. I didn't used to do that back in the day. But yeah, if you do a podcast, you can leave comments and shit. So we got a couple comments on there here and there. So be sure to do that. Help us to continue to grow the show because we just want to get you more and more artists. And I think the best way to get more and more artists is if they know who the fuck we are. So
Right.
I mean,
yeah,
some
no,
people do from, like I said, I did this shit in 2016, 2017. So like some of the people we've had on remember me from that era. So that's nice, but a lot of the other people, like modern, or when you're gone for 8 fucking years, most people aren't going to remember you. So it's
right.
literally starting from scratch, which is crazy. And then before we go, we got 2 minutes, but I want to ask if you've ever heard of the band Vicariant. I think that's the name. They're from Flint, Michigan.
Oh, I'm actually going to be in
They're
Flint. That's the first stop of my tour.
Yeah, I'm interviewing the lead singer for Vicariant literally next weekend. And when you were talking about being a bass and shit, they're like a metal band. And you should look at them up because they're actually really fucking good.
Well, if
Like
if you tell them that I'll be at the machine shop, tell them to find me. I mean, again, I'm a very easy guy to find. Tell them to go out to the Plush Earshot show. I'll be at the machine shop.
Yeah, I'm gonna let them know for sure because what I like is connecting artists together and shit too. Like I like
Yeah, that'd be
finding
super
other
dope.
artists and connecting you all together. And I was just thinking like now because when you came on, I didn't even know you were in fucking bands. Like I felt like a dumbass for that. I should have researched a little harder. But like I said, I just knew you as the rapper. So once I found out you were in a band, I was like, damn, I could have had you from like fucking bands and shit. So you're now he will officially be the second metal person on the show, and you'll be technically the first, which is cool as shit.
Yeah, like I said, hit them up, and when you talk to them, just let them know, like, yeah, come out to the machine shop. Tell them to find. Tell them to find Bundy, and I'm always around. So that's I think the 15th or 16th. I don't know. It's this coming week. I know that. That's all I know.
Look for the guy in the Jaguars, whatever is Jaguars, and all the tattoos. You'll find him easily.
Yep, that's me. You'll find me.
To find you. All right, homie. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of the Master of the Underground. New episodes drop every Monday on Spotify and YouTube. So be sure that you are subscribed to YouTube or following on Spotify. And if you want to say fuck YouTube, I don't care at this point since I keep age restricting all my shit. So at least listen on fucking Spotify where that doesn't happen. Until next time, peace out, everybody, and we will see you in a week.
Later.